Hello everyone, this is Cameron Schrader. I'm here to bring you a sustained bassline tutorial for uplifting trance, progressive trance, and even certain kinds of house music. I'm going to show you what it sounds like in a track that I'm working on here, and then I will move over to my tutorial project file, show you how to make one in depth. We'll be making a full bassline, effects and all, so stay tuned. This is a track that I'm working on now. It's a remix of a relatively old track, and yeah, let's just check out the bass real quick. Oh, and there's gonna be some staticky stuff for whatever reason. I don't know why that happens. It doesn't happen when I'm using ACO. But here's what the bass sounds like. Alright, I really hate that staticky crap. It only happens when I'm recording. Alright. Excuse me for any coughing that I do. I've been sick for a while. So we're in our tutorial project file. We're gonna add Sylenth, and since I usually have about 4 layers of bass whenever I'm using this kind of bass line. So to make this easy, we're gonna turn this new Sylenth into a nib preset. We're gonna turn the mode to slide on on mono legato. Turn mono legato on, and then bring the portamento up somewhere between 4 and 5. So I have it right at 5. And now I'm gonna clone this 3 times. Excuse the truck noise in the background. It shouldn't be happening because it's like midnight right now. And now I'm going to rename these to hard bass. Oops. 1, bass 2, bass 3, hard bass 4. Alright. And I'm going to warn you guys, you might hear random background noise. I've tried my best to get the house quiet, but my dog keeps making noise, and with my luck, there'll be other things that happen. Okay, so I'm going to paste the pattern that I copied in earlier. This is the pattern for the bass. Sounds pretty horrible right now. We're going to link all these to Mixer channel. We're going to make a bus for him. Hard bass bus. Trying to go quickly as possible here. And what a bus will do, these basses will all go into the bus, and then we can do a bunch of effects. It makes mixing easier, basically. So right click while you have hard bass selected, hard bass 1 selected, right click on the up arrow and just hit root to this track. So now when we play this, it should go, when we play this, it'll play in this channel and this channel. Awesome. Alright, so let's get to this. Do not want to waste any time. So in all of these, we are going to be using all 4 oscillators, so part A and part B. One of the things that you're going to do is you're going to play with you're going to use saw waves and square waves. Mostly saw waves, but square waves will add some variety to the sound. You're going to mess with detuning and retrig. And then you're going to mess with mod envelopes, distortion, EQing, and compression, and then a little bit of cutoff. So if that doesn't make sense to you at all, that's okay. You'll figure it out as you follow the tutorial. I'm not going to leave you behind. Another thing you'll mess with is the octaves. Some oscillators will be 2 octaves down, and the others will be 1 octave down. So let's get to this. I'm going to go ahead and turn retrig off for both of these. I'm going to switch this to a saw wave. Bring this up to 8 voices, both of them. And bring both of them down 1 octave and see what it sounds like. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this one down to 2nd octave. Alright, so that already makes it a lot more fat. Oh, by the way, you don't want to touch this, the amp envelope. Don't want to touch that. So we'll add some detuning now. Make it sound even fatter. So that sounds pretty good. We'll, add some cutoff. And I haven't changed anything yet, but when you're doing this, you're only going to mess with the sustain and the release. Wait, turn that to a low cut first. So this is what this will do. We'll add some distortion. The distortion, you just play around until you get something that sounds good. And you'll usually use overdrive, but bit crush and decimate will work as well. All of them will work, but usually you work with overdrive or bit crush. Okay, so we'll go to part B and basically just do the same thing that we did on the other side. So 8 voices on each. Bring this to low cut. Whoops, these both need to be down 1. And I think I'll change this to a square wave. Okay, so that's really loud and you can definitely hear it. Bring the volume down to about 2.3, that'll work. Alright, then bring the tuning. Add some EQ. So that sounds pretty good already just with the default EQ, so I guess I'll leave it alone. And I'm not going to do compression on the Sylenth because it's already doing pretty well. And then on all of my sliding basses or hard basses or whatever, sustain basses, I usually have a pitch A and B envelope. Bring this up to 0.95. Bring the dial up here to 0.95, and then bring the decay to 0.69. Just like that. So you might not immediately hear that, but it adds just a tiny bit of pinch or kick to the bass. Alright, so copy this, paste it in here, and then we're going to mute this one. Alright, so that's a nice high or saw bass. So we're going to make another high bass here. If you're familiar with rolling bass lines, you make these hard bass lines the same way. You have two highs and two mids most of the time. So this one, again, 8 voices, saw wave, take retrig off, octave, octave, detune. 8 voices on all of these. Down an octave. Cutoff, AB. See, that's why you don't want to change the decay. You hear the pluck sound? Alright, so that sounded pretty good. Whoops. I'm gonna distort it. Alright, so I need to bring the octave for one of these down to 2. Also notice, if you weren't paying attention, the square wave on this one is, again, I brought the volume down. Alright, so these are both pretty different. EQ on this one, bring the treble all the way down, and the bass frequency, treble frequency all the way to the left, and the bass and treble all the way to the right. Actually, the treble could be right about 2 o'clock. Because that's pretty freaking loud. Let's see what they sound like together. Alright, so that's pretty good. We're going to start making something that's a bit more based in the mids. Again, 8 voices, 1 octave, 1 octave. Okay, add a bit of detuning, don't want to overdo it with mids. And that's exactly why you don't want to overdo it with mids, because that's already sounding pretty heavy in the mids. Like, you don't want to overdo the detuning. Alright, so we're on part B right now. I think I'm going to keep 2 of them with retrigger, and one of the octaves will be, one of the oscillators will be 2 octaves down on part B. That's sounding good. Alright, so I'm hearing something that sounds a bit plucky. I'm gonna throw a low cut. If you're hearing a bit of a pluck, that's from the retrig. We don't want to hear that because it messes with the mono legato. Okay, so there's no retrig actually on this. Sometimes it'll sound good, but I guess it doesn't in this one. Alright, so that's sounding pretty good. So for the pitch, I forgot to put it on the last one. I'll go back to that in a second though. Where's pitch? 6.9, then 0.95. For mids, you want most of the power. If you're using the same spectrum as I am, you want most of the power to be right around here. For the highs, you want it to be evenly distributed as far as the waveform goes, but for the mids, you want it to look kind of like a mountain, if you're following my mouse. That applies to sustained basslines and uplifting. Alright, so we've got that one out of the way. This is the last one. Going for another mid sound. I guess I'll take retrig off because it didn't go so well last time. Paste this. Do not like. Okay. I'm gonna turn this into a square. And get rates in the years by it. Okay, that's really good sounding. So I'm going to put a cutoff modulation mod envelope on here. Okay, so this is really heavy in the mids. I like that. So we'll throw the pitch envelope on 0.69, and you can see the value right there, 0.95. Alright, so now we need to bring the cutoff down because it's too heavy in the high area. Oh, I forgot to do this. So this one has warm drive and the kick track is a little bit up. Alright, so for some reason this one seems to have the stereo widening is not doing very well. Oh yeah, and another thing you can mess around with is the phasing, but I hardly ever do that. Alright, so that actually sounds pretty good. I just think it's interesting that it's staying like completely mono. Alright, so we'll listen to all these at the same time and mix them so they're cool. Bring all these down so that they'll be as low as this. Alright. And then what we're going to do here is I do pretty much the same thing that Goulardi does with his bass lines. So if you want to do exactly what he does, he has a tutorial on it. Just look at Goulardi bassline. So on the bass, we're going to throw on TP Bassline, which is a free plugin. Just look it up. You can find a free download of it on the Tone Project site. And then we're going to move the frequency to 185.4. This is a stereo widener, so it just makes your bass a lot more fat. I'll mute it real quick. And I'm going to turn it on here in a second, so just pay attention. Kicks a lot harder. And I'll actually add sausage fat in there now, which is something that I complain about people using on the master channel all the time, but it works good for bass lines. Bring the fatness up to about 48, no color, and bring the gain down. Bring the gain down a lot. Make your bass line a lot fatter. Oh man. We'll do some EQing. Usually I do the EQing on separate channels, but for the sake of the tutorial I'm just going to EQ the bass. Throw in a low cut, which you can find right here. 40 hertz, that's good enough. Oh man, my eyes are so freaking dry. Oops. What else am I forgetting? Compression. So we'll do a little bit of compression with Maximus to make this just sound absolutely insane. Go to presets and hit default right away so that you'll have a clear preset. We'll do solo on the lows, or go to bands and hit the circle so that you can see the actual bands hit solo. We're going to move the lows in a bit because we don't want the mids in with the lows. You don't want anything that kicks in the lows that sounds like a bit of a kick or a snap. So you basically want something that sounds like a sub bass. And then in the mids, you don't want anything that's really high pitched. So we can move the highs over a bit. Perfect. Then we'll just do a little bit of boosting. If you've seen my kick tutorial, I pretty much boost the basslines the same way that I boost my kicks. So just a little bit for the mids, a little bit for the lows, and quite a bit for the highs. And the pre and post gain are always the same, just for me. Then on the master, or on the lows, I'll bring the attack up a bit and the release down. Mids, I'll bring the attack up just a bit, leave the release alone. The attack on the highs I'll bring up to about halfway, and the release I'll bring down to about 9 o'clock. Alright, sounds pretty good. I'm gonna delete these. Oh, and I forgot to put the pitch below the bottom. 0.69, 0.95. There we go. And we'll throw on not that, but this. Grab a kick. I'll just use Gallardi's kick, I guess. Alright, so kick. Now we need to sidechain this. Oops. So your sidechain kick will just be a clone of the usual kick that you're doing. You'll put it on your mixer, and then over where it says master, you want to turn this knob down while you have sidechain kick selected. So even though it's still being used, you don't hear anything from it. So from the SC kick, you right click on this and hit sidechain to this track. And then we'll move over the sidechain kick, we'll mute the actual kick and play this. Using the mouse 3 or scroll, we'll put an empty spot over here and put fruity limiter on. Go to comp and then hit sidechain and bring it to 1. And then bring the ratio all the way up. And then bringing the threshold down a bit will cause the actual sidechain, so just pay attention to this. Alright, so that's pretty freaking good. Oops. Here's what it sounds like. Alright, so, and then as far as the notation for this goes, here's what I'm using. There's no set in stone way. Most people use the different ones. I always try to change them up a bit. For these, let me close that. It's getting on my nerves. I'm using a long note at the beginning of each bar, and shorter notes at the end of each bar. So here's the longer note at the beginning, and these are the shorter notes, and then there's some mono legato going on here, just to change things up. Like this is a clone of this. This part is a clone of the first bar, but I added mono legato, and then I brought the second note up just to add more highs. So yeah, it's a sustained bass line, and then for your sub bass you'll use the exact same notes. There's plenty of sub bass tutorials on YouTube. I've already spent enough time recording here, so yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. I hope it helps out. These bass lines are amazing, and they work for pretty much any kind of trance. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I always read them. If you want to see more, subscribe. Thanks for watching.